Playing skill, you did. Ice on the wrist, car on the wrist, all on the wrist, watch out flip, watch out whip, I'm in the whip, all on the wrist, I never switch, ice on the wrist, car on the wrist, all on the wrist, watch out flip, watch out whip, I'm in the whip, all on the wrist, I never switch, ice on the wrist, I get the money but I never switch. They saying you switch, you won't get it. You know they came from the bottom and now we is lit. You was lit, I gotta get it, I gotta get it. You hating cause ice on the wrist. My bitch, you wanna be famous, They act like they made us, You know I'm icy in Vegas, Just for the that haters, I make a lot of new money, When it's not savers, Be liking my flavor, I think it's cause ice on the wrist, car on the wrist, all on the wrist. Watch out, cuz I never switch, I never switch.
He has and how the game flows through him. If he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final two bring us as we're off in Week 9? That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. So out come the Bucs now for their first drive. They'll be led out by the only 6-time Super Bowl champion in league history. In his 20th season now, Tom Brady.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
A carry for Devontae Freeman, who missed most of last season. 5 yards on the game's first play, second down. And a peek now at the offense for Tampa Bay.
And they're coming off a good win on the road last week, but they do know that they have a home game next week. So all the focus has to be, can they get a second win on the road and make going home that much sweeter? That's the intention in this ball game.
On second down, Freeman a first down and more. And finally brought down at the 43. A gain of 28 yards there and give him a first down. Boy, the offensive line there, that was a thing of beauty to watch them block.
I love how you give a little appreciation for those big guys up front, and well-deserved. But how about the execution behind them? You can see the hours of practice that have gone into it. Great pocket by the running back. Quarterback puts it right in the perfect spot. Great mesh point by them. The timing on point. The run even better.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. The intended target was Chris Godwin, and that'll bring up second down. This is how the defense will line up for Seattle. It's a unit that has had all sorts of issues against the pass. Dead last in the NFL, number 32 in the league.
That was a nice play right there, but overall this season, it's been an absolute disaster. A total lack of communication on the back end. They need a leader who can put this team, this unit, on his shoulder pads and carry them to the right spots.
Looking back to the air on second down, it's Brady. This one complete to Giovanni Bernard. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware, ball.
The last catch nearly got him a first, but it did not, and they'll try to convert on 3rd and inches. Now a first carry for Giovanni Bernard, and he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. They're able to convert with a gain of 4. Had a chance to maybe limit them to 3 if they could have gotten that stop there, but a new set of downs.
And with a new set of downs, you got to take the mentality of the whole thing. Right now, everyone's looking at the offense and saying they've got the advantage. The best defenses just say, okay, new set of downs gives us another chance to make a play ourselves and maybe change things up.
23 yards on the play. This is one thing you can't do with Tom Brady. Let him get in a rhythm, let him get rolling early.
Every time you talk about Tom Brady or any other great quarterback, you always talk to the defensive guys and they say, you got to get him off his spot. What they mean by that is when you go back 3-step, 5-step, 7-step drop, and they just hit the same spot, and then they're set up to throw the ball, give him.
And he hauls it in for the Buccaneer touchdown. Calvin Ridley, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Bucs take the ball down the field and score on their opening drive. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
Gostkowski with the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. This is taken at his 4. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Here come the Seahawks and their offense now under veteran head coach Pete Carroll. They'll be led out by their Pro Bowl quarterback in his 8th season now in the league, Russell Wilson.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. This is Chris Carson, 1,000-yard rusher a year ago. And he's going to get about 7 yards on that one, up to around the 33. The numbers on the ground for Carson last week, 17 carries, 83 yards, and a touchdown.
And they love what they've got in him. He's the number 4 rusher in the league right now, so you know that you have to account for him on defense, which means you can play complementary football as well. Throw the play action, get it out to the wide receivers, because they should have some open space, because the defense will key on him.
Mike, 58, right there. Hey, pick it up, defense. Let's go.
From the gun on 3rd down, Wilson. And he's got Snead. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
On 2nd down now, it's Carson. 3 yards is the pickup, but it leaves them still needing 11 here on 3rd down. And one of the big bodies helping out this offense is your boy, Upati.
And all he wants to do is have running plays called. Fire out and smack people.
Wilson after the play fake to Carson. And he finds a man. It's Olsen. An excellent pickup of 20 yards.
I don't believe that this opening drive is surprising to either one of us after the time we spent with the coaching staff and players prior to the game. What about you?
Absolutely. Not only that, but that big article in this paper this morning about their philosophy on starting games like you're shot out of a cannon, and that's what they've done. Very methodical here on this first drive.
Yeah, so many teams talk about that fast start. We're actually seeing it happen right here in front of us.
But now the kicker. Can they cap it off by putting the ball in the end zone? So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down.
All day, defense, all day, all day.
Now it's Wilson. Under pressure, and he'll go down. They'll sack him on what ought to be the final play of this first quarter. Levante David in there for the sack on what will be the final play of this first quarter. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Wilson to the Seahawks looking for something big following the sack. It's third and the pressure gets to him again. Terrell Suggs in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
And they're picking up right where they left off with the shutout that they pitched last week. A huge part of that, this pass rush. They know how to get after people.
Offensively, good luck finding some answers right now. Fourth down, and out is the all-pro punter from a year ago, Michael Dixon, to punt for Seattle. Back deep is Tavon Austin. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
We remind you that for the Buccaneers, 55 yards. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. Now Brady. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
He's second in the NFL in interceptions, and you understand why. He plays a game of great intelligence, understands positioning, and has a great ability to break on the football when it's in the air.
So fun to watch his close. And a loose football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. On 2nd down, it's Carson, and this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line. The Seahawks on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. From the shotgun, Wilson, and they've got the hook up. This is Olsen. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37.
When the offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because there should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. 2 minutes on the clock, 2nd quarter, 7-0 ball game. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. Wilson, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play.
3 down, 3 down.
After the sack on 1st down, Wilson, he finds his man, the tight end Olsen. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. Here's Wilson. Wide open receiver complete. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Greg Olsen. His 4th touchdown on the year as they are now on the board here in the first half. When they drew that up, I don't think they envisioned it ending in a house call, but he got it and took it all the way home.
Really impressive run after the catch, wasn't it? That was really special by him. But let's face it, in today's NFL, those tight ends are often former wide receivers or maybe even sometimes bigger running backs. They just put them in a position to get a great matchup and make plays like that.
Extra point up and through by Myers. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And that is going to tie our game as we approach halftime. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in, but I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room.
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And they finally get him, but not before he reaches the 33-yard line. To throw is Brady, and this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down. Well, the incompletion, yes, but maybe here not the worst thing in the world?
No, not on 1st and 10. It actually gives them a chance to regroup, relax just a little bit. They huddle up, talk it over, then they get a chance to continue their drive.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. So back-to-back incompletions. Third down here in 10, but you're still in field goal range.
And that's the thing to keep in mind. They're in field goal range. So now you don't take any unnecessary risks, but you try and find a way to get back to what you were doing earlier in the drive in order to finish this one off.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on third.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
All right, Greg Olsen getting ready to trot out there for another drive. Sitting right around the knees and on pace for 1,000. Today, player Olsen. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to him.
Has to find a way to step around it, step through it, or just handle it. Because, as you mentioned, he's having a pretty good day overall. Just the hits keep coming and taking those sacks. That's not the way that they want to finish a ball game with their quarterback on the ground so much.
Now, he'd like to stay upright. When he's been upright, he's been pretty good. A run there on first down gets 3 up to the 28. They trail by 3, and they just got 3 yards to start the third quarter. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Carson. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8.
Hey, man, watch the boot, watch the boot.
On 3rd down, Wilson. And he's got his target. That's more. That'll pick up the first down for Seattle on a gain of 18.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Wilson going to lead his guys up 1st and 10. And he's hit on his first 9 passes now in the ball game. And he'll run straight into a wall of tacklers at the line of scrimmage. It's 2nd down.
58.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Wilson. The catch is made here by Tyler Lockett.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Devin White in there to drop him, and that will go in the books as the first sack of his young NFL career. Congratulations, young man.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
So here are the Bucs to take over on offense. They've got the lead right now, and remember, they are riding that very impressive 7-game winning streak, trying to push it to 8. They'll try to get the ground game going with Freeman. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 25 yards the pickup there, and also a first down.
This is a little bit like baseball here. Strong up the middle. Both sides want to be that. In this case, the offense.
Freeman. And able to get him inside the 5 here, just inside the 5 to about the 4. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
53! 54! Okay, just like that. Just like that.
On 2nd and 1, Brady to the goal line, but it's incomplete. The linebacker, Bobby Wagner, able to get back in coverage and knock it free. This defense trying to do its part, active hands on that play, but their offense hasn't given them much to work with.
So they're not going to worry about it. On their side of the ball, all they're concerned about, can they create some scoring opportunities and help out that offense?
Brady to throw on 3rd and 1. Gets it off to Freeman. And he will have the first down before he's brought down at the 3. Just a yard, but that's all they needed. And by the slimmest of margins, it'll be 1st and goal. Well, they've had a great, impressive drive going here, and that pickup ensures the drive continues.
And not only do you continue the drive, which is demoralizing for the guys on the defensive side of the ball right now, but you make your own defense happy. They're able to get a little more rest over on the sidelines while this one continues.
And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Giovanni Bernard. His 3rd touchdown now on the year as the Buccaneers tack on to their lead. A good, sustained drive there in this 3rd quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
Gostkowski the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. And following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. They trail by 10, 17-7 as they come up on a 1st and 10. They try and run on first down, but this one going to lose a couple yards as they get him behind the line. A loss of 2 there, 2nd down. Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's the Seahawks with possession of the football, but they do trail here to begin quarter number 4. On 2nd and 12, Wilson. It's complete to Snead. The catch and run going to wind up netting him 33 yards. Defensively, you said coming in earlier in the broadcast, the magic number was 20 points for you. That's what you thought they would have to hold this offense to, or less than that. And, wow, they've done that in a big way, haven't they?
And not only have they done it, they put themselves in a great position to win this one because holding them down was paramount. If they could get it done, well, guess what? We see the end result. Right now, they have their eye on victory.
And leading here in the 4th. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. It's caught. Lockett. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. Four yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. They run it with Carson. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll bring up a 3rd down.
Mike 5-9, Mike 5-9. Here we go.
To throw is Wilson. To throw on 3rd down. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
But that was certainly an aggressive call and an aggressive play. Instead of just going for the first down, took the shot in the end zone, went for the touchdown.
And on 3rd down, they said, forget about the sticks. We want 6. Myers' kick is good. And they're back within a touchdown. It's 17-10. All right, so they needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal there, maybe not exactly what they wanted, but the necessary first step.
There's still time remaining, and there's enough time to get it done. They've got to get at the least a 3-and-out here to get the ball back, preferably a takeaway.
Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. Right now clinging to a 1-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays, they're going to gain yardage, how would you say it, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first downs, and the goal? End the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead.
Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on second down. Freeman again. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 10 yards there and a Buccaneer first down.
That gives him 98 yards in this game, and he's got to feel pretty good about that, but the entire offense does. The big thing, though, Brandon, they've got to get to 100, though.
You think he knows he's at 98?
I think someone has told him by now, and here's the thing. Getting to 100 or more is tangible evidence that you've had a nice day running the football, and that's what his offensive line wants for him and for themselves.
10 yards there and a Buccaneer first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
They'll run on first down. Bernard making the stop that time, Bobby Wagner. Now, the objective there, I mean, yes, the positive gain, that's nice, but work some clock.
Yeah, you're exactly right, but the problem for them is still within a possession, so they can't just sit on it running the ball. They'll have to find a way to throw it effectively as well.
So it's Buccaneer football as we welcome you back. They've got a second down now as they search for a way to get this one to the finish line. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. This is a big third down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. And now a 10th carry for Freeman. And he is going to have the first down, and that is going to suck the life right out of this crowd. And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause in the action. A timeout here defensively. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Freeman. Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here. A shotgun handoff now to Yeldon. And he's going to get this inside the 30. It's a gain of 11, and the Bucs have a first down.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call a timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. And he'll get it down inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. So they come up on second down, and they can get another run like we just saw. Would likely put an end to this thing. And they'll take a knee as the clock ticks down toward 50 seconds to go.
53! Double time, 4 down, check.
They'll go ahead and take the knee here, and the unbeaten season will continue. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to make it a 2-score game. So time has run out on what will be a Tampa Bay victory. And it was their defense that led the way, allowing just 3 points, that lone field goal in the entire second half.
And remember the old adage, Offense sells tickets. Defense does what?
Wins championships.
And in this game, maybe a championship wasn't won, but a game was by the defense, right? Held them in just a field goal. That's a heck of a job. I mean, when they went out there with that determination and a pretty good game plan, pretty good idea of what they wanted to accomplish, just love the execution, love the tenacity, love the way they finished.
So for the Buccaneers, they continue to cruise through this first half of the schedule as they move to 8-0 now on the campaign. And they will head